Hi, it's Faison, and this is my sonnet. When I Have Fears by John Keats. When I have fears that I may cease to be, before my pen has gleaned my teeming brain. So I know that cease means to bring to an end, so maybe the author is trying to bring an end to all his fears. And since he is an author, maybe he's using his pen to write down all of his thoughts and feelings, and there's just so many of them that they're overflowing his brain. Before high-piled books in character. So I know books contain characters, people who are in books. It can also be characters as in letters. And I know John Keats is a poet, so maybe these high-piled books are books of his own work, and he's writing down all his thoughts and feelings into poems, and they're inside all of these different books. Hold like rich garners the full ripened grain. Um, I'm not sure what garners are, but after this video I will look into that. But it seems like they hold the grain, and that could possibly be an analogy because the garners hold the grain as his books hold his characters or his feelings. When I behold upon the night-starred face huge cloudy symbols of a high romance. Um, so he's saying that when he looks upon the starry night sky and sees these huge clouds, he sees a high romance. So maybe he's referring to a romance that he had, maybe a relationship with a woman that he loved, and he could be using high as in getting high, so it was so amazing, so full of joy that he got high from simply being in love. And think that I may never live to trace their shadows with the magic hand of chance. Um, so it says that I may never live. So maybe the author is saying that he's on the verge of death. And it also says their shadow. So I'm wondering if this woman is even real, because it could just be this woman that he's been fantasizing about for a long time, but he hasn't been able to confront her and tell her about all his feelings towards her. And when I feel fair creature of an hour. So I think he's talking about his lover and how he has all these feelings for her, and he thinks that she's extremely beautiful. That I shall never look upon thee more. I think this is saying that because he loves this woman so much that there's no one else out there for him. This woman is it. She's his soulmate. There's no one else that he could possibly love more during his life. He's absolutely in love with this woman, and he wants to spend the rest of his life with her. Never have relished in the fairy power of unreflecting love. So, fairy power, could it be talking about like maybe fairy dust? And that's how his love feels. It feels magical, maybe. Um, of unreflecting love makes me think that he hasn't really thought about his actions during this relationship, during this love for this woman, because he's just so infatuated with her. He loves her so much that all he can think about is loving her. He can't think about doing anything sanely. He's just completely overwhelmed by his love and devotion towards her. Then on the shore of the wide world I stand alone. So now he's finally coming to terms with that he's alone. This woman was just a figment of his imagination, that she isn't real. Um, there's no one else with him except himself, and he completely made up this woman. and think, to love and fame, to nothingness do sink. For this final line, I think he's saying that no matter how much love and fame a person has, at the end of the day, um, everyone's fate is the same. We all die. And you could be the most loved and most famous person in the world, but you'll still die just like the least loved or the least famous person. Thank you.